So I was probably the highest I've ever been, watching Penn and Teller magic videos in my bed at 6 p.m. When the Texan man came in. This is Amsterdam. This is in Amsterdam. I'm in a 12-person hostel room. I've been traveling by myself for about 2 weeks now. As the man walks over to me, he kind of like is walking over like this all the way. As he walks over to me like that, I get this thought in my head and I can't shake it. And that's that he's like some sort of Christmas Carol-esque future version of me sent back in time to warn me off some terrible decision I'm about to make. So picture this guy, okay? He's got like a reddish-brown goatee. He's wearing like a mesh grey t-shirt that's like way too tight, like the kind of ones that like 40-year-old men wear to play golf. I don't know if that makes sense. He's wearing a bum bag, like filled with all his possessions. Picture him as he walks over to my bed, introduces himself, and then like puts his leg up on my bed where I'm lying, and says, I'm gonna do it. No. Okay, so he puts his leg up on the bed and he says, "Boy, it's hot in here, isn't it?" And he unzips his pants at the knee so that they become shorts, like before my eyes. And I'm so high at this point and so depressed. I'm so high and depressed. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. So I don't do it. I don't do either of those things. Needless to say, we had a lovely dinner together that night. We had dinner. We actually did. We had dinner at the Irish pub attached to our hostel in Amsterdam. It was lovely. He told me all about his life as a teacher of underprivileged children in Texas. He told me about his father who was flying in that next morning. He was like 60, and him and his father was going to hit up the town. Sounded kind of scary, but and like this whole time I was just trying not to die, basically. I he'd eaten an entire space cake. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It's just kind of like a bit of banana bread that someone's put wheat in. And they tell you like to eat like half, but I ate the whole thing. And like, I'm not experienced, I was just dying. I was just absolutely dying. I didn't know what to say. The whole time I was just like thinking about like, am I breathing? Like make sure I'm breathing. And anyway, like there's this point where like between beer 3 and 4, I kind of like realized like this silence had fallen. And I just like freaked out and I was like, I'll get some more beers, oh! And just kind of sculled my beer when I with my shirt. Went into the bar and I ordered a beer of this beautiful bartender. I think she was beautiful. And I must have looked really sad because she said to me like, what's wrong? And I said, oh, you know, and I told her, I was really high, so I just told her. I was like, you know, I've been traveling for weeks, I've met all these people, I just can't stand anymore meeting these great people, these friends, these people who have good friends. I can't stand meeting them and then just leaving them and never seeing them again anymore. It's like breaking my heart. And she kind of looked at me and said, that's no reason to be sad. And I went, oh. So unless it's about love. And I said, maybe, kind of, I don't know. And it kind of was. Before I left Australia, I'd been thinking about breaking up with my girlfriend. We'd been going out together for about 6 years, lived together, and nothing terrible had happened. There was nothing overtly wrong. I just felt like when we talked, it was like we'd once known each other well, but we'd like fallen out of the habit of knowing each other well. And I'd been thinking about it for months, and by the time the trip had come around, I was going on by myself, I hadn't done it. And I guess when I was coming into the trip, I was thinking, like maybe I'd find a reason, or maybe I'd find a good enough reason to break up with her, or a reason that would make sense to her after 6 years. So, that night, after I had my lovely dinner, I went up, watched some more Penn and Teller videos, fell asleep. About 1 a.m. I got woken up by what I would later find out were 4 English 18-year-old boys. And I pretended to be asleep. I didn't want to talk to them. I wanted to be by myself. But I slowly pieced together what had happened to them. They'd gone out in Amsterdam of all cities, city of drugs, and tried to purchase one of the few drugs, not legal, cocaine, and had instead bought flour. I thought this was like the funniest thing in the world. I was just kind of like quietly laughing to myself as I pretended to be asleep, and they kind of like fought with each other. This will come back. So I woke up the next morning. I went to a park in Amsterdam, the lovely park, absolutely beautiful, and I purchased like all the things required to roll myself some joints. I can't roll anything, like I've never done that before, so it was like, maybe I read a couple of like Yahoo Answers, terrible Wi-Fi there, so it's just no videos, Wi-Fi and whatever. And I spent about an hour in this park, and there's like families all around me, and I'm just like, ooh, you've all been there. You've all been there. Come on. It took me about an hour. I rolled two joints. First one, I lit it, and it kind of exploded in my hand. I don't know, this like maybe I like don't remember it right, because it doesn't seem like that's how things should work. But it just kind of exploded a bit, and then all the weed went on the ground, and I was kind of like, that's that. The next one was fine though. Like I did that. I drank my beer. This was 10 in the morning. And I felt like I was still feeling really sad. And I was thinking about this girl I had met in England, this Austrian girl, this absolutely amazingly beautiful girl. All the girls in my stories are beautiful, they were. And she couldn't really speak English very well, but she thought it was really funny. Anyway, she did this thing, when she couldn't understand what you were saying, she would make this face, like when she was trying to like piece it together, and it was like, the only way I can describe it is like the face, the stereotypical like duck face photo, like the face of people, anyway, you know what I mean, right? Anyway, like she she did that face, that's the face she did. But we had this lovely dinner the night before she left for France. And we had this lovely dinner, lovely conversation, and I was walking into the train this last night before she left. And we got accosted by this street magician, this drunk, homeless street magician. And he like forced us into, like kind of like guilt tripped us into like a magic trick. And then like at the end, like she was not into it. Like she was like shaking her head, like no, I don't want to do this. And like he kept doing it, and then afterwards he like turned to me and he said, like, sorry if I scared your wife. And like when I put her on the train, like I could see her like making that face, like she didn't know like what that meant. Like she was like trying to piece it together. Anyway, I left the park. I'd smoking my weed. I had drunk my beers. It was probably midday at this point. I went back to the hostel, and the 4 English boys were there. These guys were like 18. I'm trying to think of the best way to describe this. These guys were like 18. They were there for like a trap concert or something like that. They really liked the band Tame Impala. Like so much so, they talked about it so much when they found out I was Australian that like all I can think is that they are the band Tame Impala. Or like at least like a cover band Tame Impala. Like I don't know. Like they talked about it so much. And like as I got back there, they were trying to be real bro-y with me, and they were like, dude, what are you doing tonight? And I'm like, yep. And they're like, you should come out with us. And I was like, And they're like, yeah, we'll meet here. We'll meet at the bar. And I'm like, I'll get back to you on that. That's, They're like, no, we'll meet here at 5 p.m. I'm like, it's meet at 10. I was like, like I was being really non-committal. So instead I went to a McDonald's. And I sent an email to this Austrian girl. Oh, my mouth is so dry right now. I sent an email to this Austrian girl, basically like being real smooth, being like, actually, like my plans have changed. It looks like I'm going through France. Like, would you like to meet out? And like, as I spent about 5 hours in McDonald's, like with a fillet of fish and a large Fanta, using their Wi-Fi, waiting for a response, looking at how much trains and accommodation to France were. It's about $500 from Amsterdam. after that I went back to the hostel. I think it was like 7 at this point. Like I'd missed our deadline for meeting up with Tame and Paula. And I got back, and like they were in the room. They were in my room. I just wanted to chill. I just wanted to be myself. I was really depressed. I was in a very terrible place. And they were there, and they looked really distraught. And for a second, I thought, oh my god, it's like they're upset that I stood them up. Like, they were really looking forward to it. Thank you so much. And I went, that's good. And I thought, oh, this felt so bad. And then once again, I was still a bit drunk, and I listened into what they were saying, and I just said, wait a minute, did you guys fucking buy flour again instead of cocaine? And they were like, no, bro. No, we were robbed. And this is the way they told it. They're like, so we went to go buy some cocaine. And this guy, he looked he looked like a gypsy. He looked like he was trying to I was like, okay. He looked like he was trying to swindle us, and he got us in this back alley, and he was like, hey, do you want this cocaine? And we were like, and we had to buy it. We had to buy it. And it's like, you just tried to buy cocaine, and it was flour again. Where's my story going? Anyway. And I was like, well, let's go out. And they're like, nah, bro, not tonight. Not tonight. Let's go chill out. Oh God, I'm right at the end. I'm so sorry. No, bro, not tonight. And then, right. And I was in this terrible place. I'm like, listen, guys. Just, can you guys roll me some joints, please? I have so much weed, and I can't roll these joints. And one of them was like, yeah, I got you back. And he's rolling me so many joints. It was great. And we got to talking, me and him. And this 18-year-old kid, I just wrote up as a dead shit. And he found out I was a writer. And he got so excited, and he pulled out this notebook, this diary he'd been keeping, and he was like, I want to read you this quote I read in a book, and it changed my life about thinking about love. I have the quote. And you read it to me. I'll read it to you. It's from the book In Praise of Older Women by... I've read it since then. By Stephen Vazinski, modern classic. And the quote, it's quite long. It goes, we think of ourselves as failures rather than renounce our belief in the possibility of perfection. We hang to the hope of eternal love, but denying even its temporary validity. It's less painful to think, I'm shallow, she's self-centered, we couldn't communicate, it was all just physical, than to accept the simple fact that love is a passing sensation, for reasons beyond our control and even beyond our personalities. But who can reassure himself with his own rationalities? No argument can fill the void of a dead feeling, that reminder of the ultimate void, our final inconstancy, we're untrue even to life. That's pretty good. That was pretty good. And the next morning, I woke up, I went to a cafe in Dam Square, which is the center of Amsterdam. It's boom, the main place. And it was this really expensive tourist kind of bar. And I went, they had sick Wi-Fi, that's why I went there. And I checked my emails, and I had an email from this girl being like, I'd love to see you in France, it'd be great to catch up again. And as I got this email, I looked out at Dam Square, and I don't know if you guys know, I don't know if you guys have been there, but there's this giant statue right in the middle, that's kind of a World War II Holocaust memorial. And on the statue was this 40-year-old couple just going for it, just making out so heavily. And in that moment, I got this email. I was looking at the tickets. I was looking at the tickets to France. I was looking at how it was $500. I was tossing up whether I was going to go, and I saw this couple, and all of a sudden I knew what choice I was going to make in that moment. That's the end of my story.